That can't be. Fred's dollar store's closed. What? Do what? Hello, whoa, what the? How was it? I thought that was my cousin. What the? No, I said I needed to get to the bathroom. Dang.
The last time Crafsman went to the movies, ticket prices were cheap, and water did not cost what it did now. Dang. Theater water costs more per gallon than printer ink, or most liquids. I can't help but think, if you want more people in the theaters, you can kind of meet us in the middle, huh? Cut some slack. But Crafsman, that's how theaters make their money. Okay, but don't be surprised when Mama walks in with the big purse, if you know what I mean. But mostly Crafsman hasn't been to the movies due to poor selection. I think we all kind of marveled out, don't really enjoy Star Wars anymore, and sometimes parents drop their kids off like a daycare, and so, they just loud. But I started hearing about this Backrooms movie, and it got me kindly excited. The final push was seeing reviews coming in that was saying, the movie's not explained, it didn't make sense. I hate to say it, but ambiguity is one thing that gets me real excited for a movie. It was already after I got my ticket that I realized it's a rated R movie. I knew not to expect any crazy adult content in the movie, so I assumed it was rated R for violence and tensenicity, scariness. It felt kinda neat inside the theater. The dim lighting, the steady, muffled rumble of the air conditioner. It helped me get in the mood for a film about being inside of creepy spaces. Now, before the movie even began, there was Pete Davidson talking to his Alexa and essentially getting nothing done. He's debating about changing his name, and by the end of it, sticks with his name. No point. Unless the point is to get us used to it. Oh, Crafsman conspiracy theory. Anyway, the Backrooms. Our story centers around Clark, a furniture store owner who is struggling with his business, and even more so with his past. This is where Dr. Mary Klein comes into the picture. She is Clark's therapist.
It only gets better.
And genuinely wants to help him to work past the separation from his wife and the deeper issues within Clark. One night, while troubleshooting a power issue down in the furniture store, Clark discovers a mysterious slit in the wall, which leads him into the Backrooms. This film is based on the Backrooms creepypasta that originated on 4chan, which was a random office photo, and really it was the creative follow-up description that someone else posted that kicked off the concept of the Backrooms. This film is based, however, more specifically on the Kane Parsons, aka Kane Pixels Backrooms. This is a YouTube series that you can watch right now, and it was done primarily in Blender.
Hello?
I feel like this all has to be mentioned because some of the negative reviews are people comparing it to a Backrooms Roblox game, but a lot of people regard Kane Pixels as the standard. And let me just say, they did a great job taking this to a cinematic, theatrical level while maintaining the lo-fi aesthetic that the Backrooms are known for. I read that the production had to test several shades of yellow wallpaper until they got the right combination with their film lights to make it look exactly faithful to the distinctive yellow that the Backrooms are known for.
Actually, more like it remembers them.
But the other 50% is sound, and they also nailed it with the ominous fluorescent light hum, All the Foley is just so well done.
Anyone there?
The score, even when it's minimal, is super effective. Thankfully, Clark is able to get back out of the back rooms and tell his therapist, who of course has a hard time discerning, is Clark for real or is he losing his mind?
I don't understand. What is this?
Clark, a once aspiring architect, sees something beautiful in the place and wants to learn more about
You
it.
got the camera, right? You can.
So he recruits his store employees who reluctantly help him to document. And this is where the film is allowed to lean heavily on the found footage aesthetic that made it popular.
I'm trying to figure out.
And it's also where things begin to really intensify.
All right, just take
I discovered the R rating was also for language. Mercy, they could have done without a lot of that. I know it's intense and all, but
Pull me up! Pull me up! Pull me up! What do you see?
many of the more cinematic, non-found footage shot were all done quite wide, I noticed. Look, you don't see a whole lot of punch-ins and close-ups or macro shots going on in this movie. It's more about the open space. And in Clark's case, the empty space around him emphasizes his loneliness. Dr. Mary's curiosity, or conscience, gets the best of her and she decides to visit Clark, only to discover
Beautiful.
that he was telling the truth about the backrooms. Dr. Mary is also dealing with her own past, reconciling her childhood of seeing her mother go through a debilitating mental issue. This isn't thoroughly explained, but it doesn't, I don't think, need to be. I think we understand it's the catalyst for Mary's career choice and desire to help Clark. I noticed Mark Duplass was in this film. I was thinking maybe that explained where he went in Safety Not Guaranteed. Maybe him and Aubrey Plaza no clipped out of existence. No, I'm joking.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Mark plays Marvin Lee, a research scientist for the company known as Async. And if you're familiar with the Backrooms lore from YouTube, Async will be a name that definitely rings a bell for you. The cast of characters is quite limited, and you're here really, I think, for the weirdness of it. Not only is it suspenseful, playing with the concept of what's around the next corner, which, by the way, if you go back and watch Kane Parsons' first Backroom short,
Like how much further? Like a little more. A little more.
which basically is about a young filmmaker who no-clips into the backrooms, it begins with the filmmakers shooting a scene, visually illustrating the concept of something around the corner. Now, Kane, that's pretty neat if that was intentional. And I don't know about y'all, but this whole liminal spaces thing, which is kind of caught on in popularity right now, it broadly describes the architecture of the backrooms, but it really makes me uncomfortable. The fact that places exist where it's like, why is that there? Why is this here? Like, especially doors that lead to nowhere. This kind of stuff really messes with me. Well, the Backrooms movie takes that uncomfortable architecture and then times it by 10. There's stuff in places where stuff simply should not be. And this concept alone of things being not quite properly placed in the environment is super eerie. Speaking of eerie, a scene I particularly enjoyed involved a Christmas tree.
Actually, more like it remembers them.
Now, I've tried to shy away from the film's bigger surprises and keep from spoiling anything, and we're not going to delve into the psychology of the film. Believe me, psychology plays a huge role in this movie, and the film deals with themes of responsibility, acceptance, memory, and perhaps in a large way, misremembering. The Backrooms feels like someone is trying to recreate those places and events from distorted recollections. Something about the Backrooms reminds me weirdly of Marble Hornets. That's kind of a throwback. I guess maybe the found footage aspect of it is why I draw the connection.
Anyone there?
My overall review, I found the Backrooms so different as to be refreshing. Not everything was right on the nose, not everything was explained. The movie doesn't treat you like you absolutely ignorant, but the movie is quite intense and I do not recommend it for children. And again, could have done without all that cussing. Come on. I noticed in an interview that Kane Parsons feels about the same way a lot of us do about artificial intelligence.
I read that you do not want to embrace AI. That's
Absolutely not.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
I mean, for me, the whole point of doing what I'm doing, like art is a way of processing life. That's inherently what it's supposed to be for most people. I don't see the value in like outsourcing any element of that. And when I'm looking at someone else's project, if I see an element of the environment has been like, you know, they use generative fill or whatever to change something about the scene, even if it just shuts off the part of my brain that wants to know more about that world and wants to look for details, because I would assume if they're willing to make an arbitrary choice there, they could make an arbitrary choice with literally anything.
And he's turning 21 in 2 weeks. Happy birthday to
Congratulations,
you.
man. We're cheering you on. Can't wait to see what you do in Hollywood.
Kane, my man, I'm wishing you continued success. What I anticipate to happen is soon we're going to see more and more movies based on liminal spaces, quote unquote. Talk about a term that gets buku usage lately. And we have successful TV shows that have already borrowed from this concept, so yeah, I bet we're going to see more and more. Patreon supporters, I'm going to be posting a behind-the-scenes video on how I made the backrooms for the intro. LOL. It's kind of like, we made it using stuff we had around the house and printed out wallpaper and stuff like that. It was fun. Crafsman's out here trying to give y'all a quality experience. If you like this type of mess, please consider supporting me on Patreon or Ko-fi. And if you want to see more movie reviews, let me know in the comments. I'm pretty selective about what I watch, but if the right thing comes along, I'll check it out. Until next time, I love y'all, and keep on steady crafting.